Hey everyone, wanted to reach out to you guys today. It's May 14th and just touch on something that I've been getting asked a lot from my clients and my friends and my family, and that is, are prices going to crash? Are we in a bubble? Are prices going to come down? Are we going to see a lot of foreclosures coming up because of people in forbearance, and how is that going to affect home prices moving forward? Now, I am not a financial analyst, but I was in real estate for the 2008 recession and crash. Then I was affected by it personally. And I've seen a lot of the ups and downs in the real estate market. And so a couple of things that I want to address moving forward. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but a few things are different this time around. And so I wanted to touch on this. Number one, what we're seeing right now, and one of our greatest indicators, is that rent prices right now are increasing as rapidly, really, as home prices are. Now, back in 2007, 2008, investors were purchasing homes but had no renters for them. So they were just sitting on empty homes. If you guys were around back then, you remember these vast subdivisions that were built where these investors came in and they were like empty ghost towns. That's not the case right now. Rents are going up. It's hard to find a rental and it's hard to find a house to purchase. Both things are true. Now, part of that is because number one, the home builders are, after the crash, they stopped building as much. We had a plethora of homes back in 2007, 2008, and after the crash, home builders really stepped back on building. So now we're actually in a position where we are behind on buyer demand. Home builders have not kept up with it, and so there is an extreme buyer demand out there that's pushing these home prices up. In the past, the home prices were getting pushed up because of these ninja loans. I don't know if you guys remember what these were, but these were no income, no job, no asset loans. You could get a loan for 100% financing plus 3% closing costs. And almost anybody could get a loan, really. Almost anybody could get a loan. And people were getting multiple loans. They were getting, multiple owner-occupied loans to purchase investment properties. So it was really crazy. Well, right now, and that hasn't been going on for a really long time. So even people who may be in forbearance and possibly could roll into foreclosure, these folks have equity in their houses. Home prices have been increasing, but they also had to get into a home where at the minimum they had, 3.5% down payment, if not more, because of how financing has changed. So if someone does need to consider foreclosure, they also will be considering selling their house, and they could sell, typically, the majority of people could sell for more money than they owe on their home. So that's another piece of it as well. So we're seeing, a huge amount of buyer demand, a true lack of supply, like a real honest lack of supply, because home builders haven't kept up. The buyer demand because of low interest rates. In Phoenix especially, we've got, industry, we've got weather, we've got all of the things that draw people, low property taxes, lots of things that draw people to the Phoenix area as well. And that is true buyer demand. Those aren't random people thinking they can be an investor and buying houses with 0% financing. So what we're starting to see in the market right now is we're starting to see a little bit of an increase in supply. That's pretty typical this time of year as we roll into summer. It's not that noticeable on the ground. I've got buyers who were still duking it out for houses. But again, that starts to shift as we get into October and November, holidays slow down, and then we may start to get into a little bit more of a regular routine. Because we have such a dearth of supply and so many buyers out there, we don't see prices coming down for a long time. It's going to take a long time to get to a place where we have inventory that can support the number of buyers that are out there. Something else that's on the horizon right now as well is Biden has proposed a down payment grant, basically, or in some cases, there's two proposals. There's a grant and there's tax credits for first-time home buyers. If that goes into effect, we're going to have even more buyers out there in the market. So keep your heads up if you're a buyer. It's still a good time because interest rates are so incredibly low, And if you're a seller and you need to move for, you want to increase the size of your house, you need to move for a job, obviously it's a really great time to purchase, but we need to keep an eye on what's happening specifically in your neighborhood to make sure that we're pricing correctly and not overpricing. That's still a problem out there. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Would love to answer any questions for you and help you guys.